Hello and welcome to part 2 of the new format of my PlayStation 4 collection. This time, we're going to be going through another 5 games, showing some gameplay. As before, I will be covering a game that I've already covered in one of the previous videos, just because I haven't really shown any gameplay of it. But only one of the games will be one that I've already covered, and I'll do that one last of the 5. So yeah, without further ado, let's get started. So the first game here, this is one I actually got very recently. It only cost me about 10 quid. I had my eye on it for a while. I was kind of waiting for the price to drop. I kind of just bought it just purely on the basis that it's a side-scrolling beat-em-up. So think like Streets of Rage, but it's 3D. And it is 9 Monkeys of Shaolin. So not like Streets of Rage, but 3D. Same game format though, you know what I mean. I'll show you the back there as well. So yeah, the graphics in this, they're quite stylized. Like, they're not going to blow you away, but I actually think they look quite nice and they do a good job. The gameplay is quite smooth. Now this one, in there you get the disc, and I don't know if you can see it there, but you get some of the Tibetan Shaolin Mountaineer. Yeah, it smells pretty good. Yeah, I played this one very recently actually. I did like the first couple of missions. You'll see in the gameplay here as I'm playing along. Yeah, it's pretty good. I saw some reviews on it online, and a lot of the reviews just were a bit like, yeah, it's a bit meh. If you just like button mashing, I can sort of see where they're coming from, but if I'm being honest, I disagree. I actually kind of like this. I was playing on the normal difficulty, or warrior difficulty as it calls it, and it was a little bit challenging in places. I wouldn't say it was completely button mashy, because some of your attacks are less effective against certain enemies, so you really need to kind of like, I mean, you have 3 different attacks, so you kind of need to match the attacks for the type of enemy really. So yeah, I don't know where they were coming from with the button mashy thing. At least so far I've played like maybe like the first 3 stages or so, leveled up my character a little bit, because that's another thing. There's like progression in this where you can kind of level up your skills. You're basically leveling up your 3 different types of attacks. In fact, I'm pretty sure there's like some kind of a magic system in it, like chi based magic or something. To be honest, I haven't got to that point yet, so there's probably even more than that. But you can tell from in some of the gameplay, I did kind of get a bit battered at points, and then at other points I kind of got to grips with the parry system, because there is a parry system in this. You press L1, you like spin your staff. The only negative I would say to the parry system is you can kind of just spam it, and you pretty much, it's not very, it's very forgiving with the timing on it. But I did still find the game a bit tricky, whether that's just because I was new, you know, and I was just a bit rusty maybe, and still figuring it out. But I actually thought it was decent. It really didn't make me feel like I was just mashing buttons to beat the enemies. I definitely wasn't just mashing buttons to beat the enemies, because there's in the gameplay there, I'll see if I can put it in, because right near the end of my gameplay I did like a sawmill level, and that was quite cool because there was some environmental hazards. But the last kind of area where you're fighting a load of these different guards, if I'd have mashed the buttons there, I would have got obliterated. And that's on normal difficulty, because if you just mash the buttons as you're attacking somebody else, you're going to get attacked and hit in the back, and they'll counter you and they'll floor you. So yeah, really, it's not button mashy if you ask me. You have to kind of keep your eye on other enemies when you're attacking an enemy, and when they're going to attack you, because you can kind of just throw a parry in mid combo and then back them away. And when you do that successfully, and you say you're fighting 4 enemies and you're hitting and you're parrying them, it does feel pretty good, to be fair. So yeah, so far I actually kind of like it. For a tenner, you can't complain. It is value for money for a tenner, but I don't see how you could not think it's value for money for a tenner. So yeah, if you're into the side-scrolling beat-em-ups with some light RPG mechanics, you can also upgrade your weapon as well. I upgraded my staff in the video. So, and I think you can get shoes and like a necklace as well, which I'm guessing bring you other kind of buffs. So yeah, I actually think it's pretty good, and could be a future hidden gem. It also has 2-player co-op as well. which is pretty cool. But like proper 2-player co-op, like they actually pick up the pad next to you. Because this is another thing I've noticed. I've mentioned with a lot of my other games, oh, this is 2-player co-op, that's 2-player co-op, and I realised I had my friend around the other day, and he was trying to pick up a pad and play with me, and it was like, no, you need to sign into PlayStation Network, or it was a case of, oh, it's 2-player co-op, but only online. So really, I bought some of these games. I think, was it Outward I covered earlier? It was like an RPG game, and I said, oh, it's like 2-player Oblivion. Yeah, that's network only 2-player. So unless I buy another PS4 and hook that up to network and buy another copy of the game, which to be honest, if the game was any good, I might do, because I've got all my games set up in my loft here. It'd be pretty cool having a friend around doing that. But I digress. Anyway, this is 2-player. Actually sit there with your friend and play with them. So if you're just looking for like some, I don't want to say brainless action, because like I said, it's not button mashy. Maybe if you put it on easy mode, you know, you probably can mash your way through it. But yeah, I think it's alright. It's basically Streets of Rage, Shaolin theme, light RPG mechanics, and I actually think it's pretty decent. And the gameplay plays pretty smooth. And yeah, it's I'd say so far it feels fair. Yeah, I got battered at points, but I got battered because I really wasn't kind of keeping my eye on what was going on with the enemies. The only thing actually I would say is when the enemies are attacking you, there's like this little orange glow on the weapon, which pretty much tells you when you need to press the counter button. But like I say, it's pretty lenient. It's pretty forgiving. If you press it a little bit late, you'll still kind of pull it off. But that orange glow against the backgrounds, at least the levels I was on, it wasn't immediately obvious. So yeah, that could be a bit of a pain. But other than that, I mean, it's not a massive drawback. Yeah, pretty decent game. Pick it up for 10 quid. Go for it. Next game I'm going to cover is Mother Gunship. First person shooter roguelike is the best way I can describe it. You kind of upgrade your guns as you go along. You're like in this mech suit. You'll see from the gameplay anyway.
Hello, it's me again. I've come in. I've travelled. I've gone back through time. Forward through time. Back through time. Is it back through time or would it be forward? I've gone forward through time. Forward through time to tell you that, to pass on this message. I've accessed the Speed Force to tell you this message. Just to give you this quick message and tell you that what I'm about to say about this game is kind of not true. I didn't remember it very well. I played it again recently today actually. And yeah, it was really good. I described it as a roguelike. It's not really a roguelike. The rooms are like randomly generated, so it will be like different each time you play it. But yeah, the way I described it was not correct, so I'm going to describe it again now. You'll be able to see some gameplay anyway. But yeah, so you kind of go through randomly generated rooms inside of a spaceship, and all the rooms will like have there's like sets. It's almost like the layouts are like set different layouts, but the actual enemies and the positions and the spawns are all kind of like randomized. And you can kind of choose, once you do a room, you might have multiple exits, so you can choose different doors that you go through. So for example, some rooms might be a bit more like randomized, like a higher, they call it a threat level. There's other rooms where you can kind of do additional challenges, and occasionally you come across the shops. The highlight for me in this was the shops, because you'll see from the gameplay in there, you'll start with like a very basic gun. You can usually kind of pre-pick your loadout on most levels. There might be some levels where you'll have a set loadout, but let's say for example you start with a minigun or something. You can get to the next shop, you can buy other weapons, but then what you do is you buy attachments for your weapons. So you can get attachments that kind of have like 3 connectors on them, 4 connectors on them, 2 connectors, but they kind of point in different directions. And the idea is you kind of attach all these attachments and attach as many guns as possible onto each arm, which is a really cool mechanic. You'll see from the gameplay, I think at some point I might even get 4 guns on one arm. But you can even just like attach one gun and then attach loads of attachments that kind of give bonuses to that gun. So say like make the bullets ricochet or do extra damage or increase the fire rate, stuff like that. So yeah, it's really good actually. I really enjoyed it. I was playing it for a while actually, so I actually caught quite a bit of gameplay. I did die a few times. It's really challenging, but yeah, I was kind of initially I was kind of complaining that it's not AAA or anything like that, but you know, it is an indie developer, so you have to kind of give them a bit of leeway there. And really, the ideas in it, I think it's a really good idea. From what I can see, as long as the guns can fit on your arm, you can attach them on there. And you know, it gets to the point where you're just firing insane amounts of bullets, and at the same time, you know, some rooms the enemies, there's just absolutely tons of them, there's bullets flying everywhere, it's just so chaotic. Yeah, I found it really enjoyable, and you can just play it in like short bursts. And yeah, I paid around about 10 quid for this, so it's definitely value for money. You can probably pick it up even cheaper now. I think I probably, I mean, I bought that second hand, might have been a couple of years ago now. You could probably pick it up even cheaper than that now. So yeah, I just wanted to kind of update my opinion of this game, really, because I wouldn't say I slated it, but I didn't really do it justice. I was just kind of like, yeah, it's a bit meh. Yeah, pick it up if you want. And I didn't really have a lot to say about it, but now that I've just kind of replayed it, yeah, it is really good. Yeah, I'm definitely going to play this a bit more. I kind of, yeah, I misjudged it, to be fair, but I will do that from time to time, and that's the reason why I kind of hold off a little bit on, if I don't like a game, I don't want to slate it, because a lot of these games I haven't played all the way through. So I've played games before where I thought they were bang average, but then as I've got into it and then the game's kind of developed, I thought it was really good. So, and what I've got to bear in mind as well is this is just my opinion, really. So, you know, other people might, the genres whatever you want to call them, that maybe don't necessarily appeal to me as much as they do to others. So yeah, I just want to give people an idea of what the game's about, and then they can kind of make their own decision whether they want to buy it or not. Anyway, that's as much as I'll say on that. And no, I have to go back. I have to go. I only have so much time in this timeline. I have to go. Remember, it's not that bad.
Next game, let's move on. Right, this game, again, it's disc only, unfortunately, but it's Red Faction Guerrilla Remastered. Oh, see what they did there? Yeah, basically you're on Mars, and it's like a sandbox game, and kind of going along with the theme of a lot of the Red Faction games, you can destroy the scenery, destroy buildings. Well, yeah, mainly the buildings. You've got like a hammer that you kind of run around, and you'll see in the gameplay, but you can kind of, it's quite clever really, the physics in it. You can kind of destroy the foundations of the building with a hammer and the whole building will come down. So, you know, sometimes you might have a mission to take out like a base of enemy troopers, and rather than, you can go in and gun them all down if you want to do that, or you could just take the whole building down and just kill them all while they're in it, you know. So it's pretty cool like that. I got this game because it kind of, I had an operation years ago, and while I was recovering, this was kind of the game that like got me through it while I was bedbound. It is a pretty decent game. I think near the end I was getting a bit like, oh yeah, it's getting a bit stale this now, but I think I did power through and complete it. So yeah, I just thought it'd be nice to have that again because I had good memories of it, and I picked this up for like 7 quid. It's like ridiculously cheap, and so for 7 quid, like, it's definitely value for money. I believe that you can get in vehicles in there as well. The whole game's on the surface of Mars, so as you can imagine, the surface of Mars, I mean, I've not been there personally, but you know, from what I've seen of people's holiday photos and stuff, it's like very barren and dry, you know. There's not like a lot of greenery, so if you're looking for really varied environments, this probably isn't the game for you. But if you just want to like wreak havoc on the surface of Mars, who wouldn't, you know? It's for you. So yeah, check online. I picked it up second hand. No, actually, I tell a lie, I didn't pick it up second hand. It's brand new, this bad boy. Yeah, for like 7 quid. I think a couple of quid postage as well, so like just under tenner, but definitely worth a tenner. So yeah, pick it up if you think it's your cup of tea. Next game. Now this is a game I bought because it reminded me of a series that I used to love on the Game Boy Advance and the DS called Advance Wars. So a lot of people might be able to already guess what I'm going to say this is now. But it is Wargroove Deluxe Edition. The Deluxe Edition just comes with, like you see there on the top, strategy manual, digital soundtrack, map stickers. Unfortunately, it doesn't include the DLC. They released some DLC on this, which I think gave you like another faction. Unfortunately, it doesn't include that, but I'm not sure there is a physical version out there that does include that. So yeah, so I thought, oh, gotta own this. It was on Game Pass a bit ago. It might still be on Game Pass if you want to check it out and you've got an Xbox. But yeah, it plays like, in fact, rather than me talking about what it plays like, I'll show you the stuff that's in there, and then we'll go on to that. So yeah, you got a digital soundtrack download code. You get a map of Arania. Yeah, apparently Arania or Orania. I'm gonna go with Orania. You also get some stickers. Where are the stickers? Here they are. These are pretty good actually. They're tiny, but they're just, yeah, they're pretty cool. Like all those stickers there of like your generals. You'll have like a general on the field who's like kind of super powerful, and the enemy will have a general as well. And if I remember right, you kind of win the game by defeating the general or either taking the base. So yeah, those are all the different generals. Yeah, they even have a dog general. Don't know how it issues commands, but it seems to pull it off. And yeah, then you get the strategy manual. The strategy manual's pretty cool. It's basically got pictures of all the different units, the strengths, the weaknesses, what they're good against, and they all have like critical hit criteria. So for example, spearmen, critical hit when adjacent to another spearman. You know, the normal troops, critical hit when adjacent to the commander. So it's very kind of strategic in where you place the troops on the, you know, on the map. So let's just get into some gameplay and you'll see what I mean. So yeah, it's like a grid-based system, and then you take turns, and you know the units you'll attack, and then it goes into this like little cutscene. You know, say showing archers firing on some standard ground troops or something like that, and then you'll get like a percentage of damage. And but things like the terrain you're on kind of affect your defense rating. And again, like I said there, the critical hit criteria will affect how much damage you do. Yeah, there's a lot of factors really, so there's a lot of strategy involved in it. It's actually a really good game. It's pretty much just Advance Wars, and they've remade it, and I don't want to say they remade it and reskinned it, because that kind of undersells the work they put into this. It is a really good game. But yeah, I picked it up because I'm a massive fan of Advance Wars. I love that game. And also, like Advance Wars, it has a map maker. So it has a map maker actually, and online play, and it even has like online custom campaigns that other people have made. So you've got like an absolute ton of replay value. Now I picked this up for about 15 quid. So for that, definitely worth it. Like, you can't complain at that price. The map maker is really good as well. As you can imagine, you can make maps and then like trade them with your friends, I believe, you know, so if you want to make kind of challenging maps for each other. Yeah, it's a really good game. Hopefully it's still on Game Pass at the moment, but if not, I think you could probably even download it digitally for about 15 quid if you're not too bothered about having a physical. But yeah, I just wanted a physical because for me it is a game that I kind of like have a soft spot for these types of games, and it reminds me of Advance Wars. Now this one as well, yeah, like I said, it is multiplayer like online, but it is also like 1 to 4 players local. And the reason for that is because it's turn-based. You just pass the pad around, you know. So there's one you can at least play on the sofa with your mates. I mean, I think you could probably even set up a scenario where, you know, you're kind of allied with your friend and then you're against like a computer AI. So yeah, it's a really good game with like a lot of different kind of playability options. And yeah, your generals as well, I didn't mention that, but all your generals have like different kind of statistics and abilities. So that's pretty cool. Basically like the original Advance Wars. They definitely had that in mind when they made this game. I wish they'd make another Advance Wars. I keep trying to pick it up for the like the DS version, but I'm just kind of looking for one that's like a decent price and in box really. Normally I'm not bothered about just having a cartridge if I just want to play the game, you know, but like I do have a soft spot for Advance Wars. So anyway, on to the next one, and this is almost a final game because I said I'll do 5 and I am going to do 5, but I want to quickly mention something at the end. Now this is one that I did cover before, Mad Rat Dead. Now I already explained before, so I'm not going to say too much about it, but yeah, it's like moving time with the music platformer, so a bit of a mix between like kind of like Parappa the Rapper and a platformer in one. So I'll bring up some gameplay now so you can kind of see what's going on. It is, well, I was going to say it is a difficult game. It's a difficult game at first just because I've said this before, I think in a previous video, but like when you're playing a platformer, your reaction is when you get to an edge to hit jump. But in this, you've got to wait for the beat to do it, and it really throws you off because you want to react to, I mean, there's enemies there as well, so you want to react to the enemies of the environment, and it's like you have to kind of hold back that kind of reaction, that gut reaction, and kind of just focus on the beat of the music. So yeah, it's kind of like rubbing your belly and patting your head at the same time. It's like kind of getting used to that sort of thought process, I suppose. But yeah, it's quite good. The graphics are nice. The music is awesome. Unfortunately, I won't be able to show it in the video because copyright and all that. But yeah, the music's really good in it. It's an NIS America game, which to me, like, they're always kind of unique and there's a certain level of quality with them. Yeah, it is just disc only in there, by the way, so that's why I didn't kind of crack that one open. But yeah, I thought I'd just quickly cover that one because I didn't show any gameplay before. So yeah, now we move on to the final section of the video, which is probably going to be quite short, but I'm thinking of adding this in on the end of my videos, and it's going to be the what's on my radar section. And each time I'm going to mention one game that's on my radar, because at the moment I always have games on my radar where I'm thinking, I'll pick that up, I'll pick that up, I'll pick that up. Whether it's because like they've only just come out, you know, or they've been out a while and they're a bit expensive, or they've been on my list for a while but I've got that many on my list, I've just not got around to buying it because unfortunately, you know, I'm not made of money, you know, which is why, well, as you can see, I don't really spend a lot on individual games, but, well, unless I think it warrants it, to be fair. But yeah, so, what's on my radar? I'll tell you what's on my radar. I've noticed recently that there's a Dark Souls trilogy on the PS4. All 3 games on one disc, which I thought, oh, that's pretty cool, because believe it or not, I've actually never played Dark Souls. I know it's a crime, but I'll get there, because this game I definitely am going to buy at some point. And I think it was reasonably priced. I think it's only about 25 quid at the moment. So it is on my radar. So it's probably the next game I buy, to be fair. Or should I say games, because it's a collection. I love these 3-in-1 kind of collections. I just think, like, it's just insane value for money. And yeah, one of the great things about it as well is I've noticed the first Dark Souls on it, it's the remastered version. So it's not even like basic Dark Souls, it's Dark Souls remastered, and then they've put 2 and 3 on there. And I believe from looking at the description, they're all on the disc. So I was like, wow, that's a good way to like experience Dark Souls for the first time, you know. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna pick that up at some point. I just burped there, that was horrible. I don't know if you heard it. Hopefully you didn't hear it. But yeah, like I said before, I think 3 games on one disc is really good value for money. So that's my main reason for picking it up. I was thinking of picking up the remastered version, and I'm really glad I held out now. It doesn't even seem that long ago that the remastered version came out, and now there's a trilogy version. But I didn't see it advertised anywhere, and I've noticed that before, especially you know, you get it a lot with the PS3 as well. You get, like, if you just search like PS3 trilogy or PS4 trilogy, you find all these games that come up with it you didn't even know there was like trilogies of. Like, I got one recently. I'm going off a bit of a tangent here, but I just thought I'd mention it really. I got the God of War trilogy. In fact, it might be here right next to me now. It's God of War 1, 2, 3 on disc. And it also includes the PSP games as well, but there is download codes, so obviously you have to kind of... I mean, we thought PlayStation Network was going down, didn't we, a bit ago, but unfortunately that's not the case, so I really need to get around to getting those downloaded. God of War Saga, there you are. 5 full games. Insane. And they've just kind of like sellotaped the download code to the back. Not amazing. But yeah, whatever. Yeah, so I'm going to get those other 2 downloaded. But yeah, I mainly got it for the free. God of War 1, 2 and 3. So that I could play that on the PS3. So yeah, there's a Splinter Cell one, there's a Hitman one, which has quite a few of the Hitman games on it. The only thing you got to be careful with is just read the descriptions first, because if you just buy it thinking, it's the trilogy, and then you get it and it's just like the first 2 games and the third one's a download code. Yeah, it's like they do the whole thing like they did with Spyro, where one of them's like a download code. So just keep your eyes open for that. But if there's a decent amount, you know, of the games on the disc, then yeah, I'd say it's worth it, really. I mean, you might be fine with a download code, but it's just, like I mentioned before, with the PlayStation Network and stuff maybe not being up forever, you know, like, those download codes don't have a lot of longevity. So, anyway, that was what's on my radar for for this week. I've got about 100 games on my radar, so there's no bloody shortage of them. And hopefully I'll have the Dark Souls trilogy soon. I might wait till I get paid. I might wait a month. I don't think it's going anywhere at the moment, but yeah. So yeah, that tower at the back looks like it's falling over. It's just leaning forward a little because of the shape of the carpet. Don't worry about it. But yeah, okay. I hope you enjoyed your week, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your next week. And yeah, I'll get another video out when I can. It's kind of difficult at the moment. I'm just juggling everything kind of between work and hobbies and stuff. I've taken up some additional hobbies, so I think this lockdown has just driven me and everyone else crazy. So it's like we're just trying to fill the voids. I even nearly resorted to playing Dungeons and Dragons. I was messaging this guy saying like, oh, you know, he was like, do you know anything about Dungeons and Dragons? I was like, oh, I play Baldur's Gate. Like, I know it's about dice rolls and stuff. He was like, right. But to be fair, he did say all newbies are welcome. So I was like, right, anyway, well, you might want to get some ground rules first. And he said something like, do you know how to roll a character or something? At the time, I was like, I don't know what he means, but I presume he means rolling the stats, to be honest, when I thought about it later. But he was like, join our Discord and find out. And I'm like, I don't know, I'm a bit of an old fuddy-duddy me. I'm like, Discord? Ugh, I'm not doing that. So, yeah, I didn't get round to it. Maybe I'll give it another chance. I just thought it'd be a laugh, you know, to play it and pretend I was a dwarven princess for 5 minutes, you know. But, yeah. But yeah, whatever. Okay, yeah, like I said, I hope you enjoyed your week and enjoy next week and all that kind of blooming jazz. Alright, see you later, bye!